Well, good morning there. Wasn't that a pretty sunrise? It's the weekend, so we're going to be working here in the garden at home for a bit. Bittersweet. It's exciting to be working here, but this would have been the first wedding of the year. We're talking at home in the garden. It's going to be a pretty cool day. Up early. Gonna be a fun day, working quite a bit in the garden today. You'll want to watch because we have a guest stopping by today. On the list for today is just continuing to clean up. I do have a water line here, and you can see the little bit of blue, and I've got another leak in there, so that's getting fixed today. You might have noticed, and maybe you can still see it right over there on the lawn, 29 degrees this morning. 29, so yes. I had mentioned last week that we were going to get into the 30s. I didn't think we'd get to the 20s, but yes, we got to the 20s, and we had frost last night. So luckily, some of the stuff from the greenhouse that we picked up is not outside, it's still inside. Water line fix, we're going to continue to work on the beds, and this little guy, he's going to get fully explained in another video, but he's my cucumber ladder. And that is going to get all cleaned up, and I'm going to plant some cucumbers. But it is time to go make a pot of coffee, so I'll see you in a bit. Bye.
There's no one like you, my little girl. Your eyes so blue under those brown curls. Soon you're on your way. Promise me that you know the world is yours. Strike them with your glow. Go on.
All right, it's our little mid-morning break time. Always nice when neighbors stop by to say hi. Needed to do a close-up. Finish my coffee. Finally got that. Do a close-up of the coffee mug. There you go, Nita. House is, which someday we'll show a picture of the house, 1869. So in our understanding that this is part of the pasture over here. So while we're digging, it's awesome to find the old square nails, and found a horseshoe this morning. Good luck.
You know where to go if you follow that heart. One step at a time. We all play our part. Go out now. Be good. Be fine.
Teri Knight
Hello?
from Garden Bite.
Yes,
With Teri Knight.
absolutely.
So we'll tell all kinds of things about you right away. I don't know what.
Okay, well, to start with, I started Garden Bite in 2007. It is a radio show that airs on 29 radio stations.
29.
Yep, throughout the Midwest. That's, yep, in the toes. So
You've watched our videos before, haven't you?
I have. You and Ben. It's like, oh, I've watched the videos. And I also have, of course, my website, gardenbite.com, and I just use that to supplement the radio show, and I love it. It's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Master Gardener?
Master Gardener, oh yeah, there's that too.
There's that too.
So, yes.
Gardener.
I was waiting to, we should do this.
Hello. Sorry, Ben.
Sorry.
It's the
Yeah.
trademark. All right, so welcome to the home garden.
Yeah. Wow.
This is the rejuvenation of a garden that I started a long time ago. I don't think we've gotten into that full thing. Maybe, I don't know, 2000?
Okay.
2002. It was wonderful for quite some time, and I had all these great plans, and then life and all those things got in the way.
As they do.
As they do. So now I'm kind of bringing it back a little bit. I've been weeding. I do have a compost
Good boy.
over there. I've been composting regularly.
Okay.
So I have some of that mixed in. But one of the questions, we're kind of talking soil today, if there is a bigger theme to this whole
Yeah.
whatever we're doing. So I think there was a presidential, I don't know what I want to call them, a candidate that said,
Yes.
Growing things is easy. You just dig a hole and throw some seeds in there and it grows.
Yeah, well, that would depend on what you're growing. And if it were native plants, perhaps. But, of course, with vegetable gardens, it's a little bit different. And one of the things that we had sort of talked about off camera was starting a garden.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, start small. That's the very first suggestion. In terms of soil, most of the Midwest area, our soils tend to be, in terms of a pH, are pretty neutral for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It depends, though, if you're around the lakes or things like that, so you add limestone, so you have to think about that. But amending soils, I really love compost.
Mm-hmm.
And I would urge anybody to start their own compost bin. And if you don't, that's okay. You can also purchase compost and also composted manure. Now, those things add micronutrients. They're not a fertilizer, but what you're doing is fluffing up the soil so that it gives you the opportunity for, say, the root crops to really be able to grow. And that's the whole point, is you want that soil to be fluffy. And that's how you get it. I wouldn't add any chemicals whatsoever. But I do have a fertilizer that is an organic fertilizer, and I can talk about that a little bit later. But mostly, the important thing is to loosen the soil and add the compost. Also, you can use, like I said, the composted manure. Never, ever use fresh manure. And also, just
See, you brought that whole presidential candidate and manure together. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that took talent.
Skill.
Yeah, that's it. So one of the things that I had done, I'll just tell a quick story, is I was going to use horse manure. So a friend of mine has horses. And he's one of those guys that he's like this, yeah, just get the bulldozer and I'll just get it up and stick that in the back of your truck and off you go. Okay. Well, there's a lot of rock in it. And a lot of other stuff that I wish I hadn't put in there. So I ended up actually the next year trying to take it all out.
Oh, wow.
If you're buying compost, if you're buying manure, anything like that, composted manure, make sure you get it from a reputable source. And most of those are local garden centers.
Yes.
Local
garden centers.
Yeah.
So if you're rejuvenating like this, so my favorite, I say it every video, favorite tool is the potato fork or the garden fork. Garden fork. You've been watching along, and it's kind of painful video right now because, like, oh, look, it's another video of Glenn just on his hands and knees digging. But I'm loosening up the soil. Yes. I'm pulling out the weeds and getting it there. When I added the compost to that one, that's just that amendment. I probably will add in a couple areas, get some of the manure bags, some of that, just and add to a couple different areas in and around here and test that. So if you are rejuvenating a garden like this, it's a pretty simple process. Loosen it up, add a little compost, and you're good to go. How about if, because we're all at stay at home kind of.
Yes.
Thank you, essential workers, taking care of everything. If you're staring out and you have this big patch of lawn and you're like, this is the year I'm starting a garden.
Yes. All right, so the first thing is, as I said,
go to the farmer's market. No. Save yourself.
Save yourself. Start small. Definitely start small. And when you're starting out with the lawn, it's more work, but you're going to be very, very happy that you do this, is you've got to get rid of the sod. That's absolute first thing. I actually had somebody send me pictures of them not doing that and what it looked like afterward and how do I fix this. And frankly, I said dig it all up because it's not going to work.
And I did show that in the end of the last video about some of the weeds and the grasses, and just like the little thistle was 18 inches apart.
Yes.
And if you don't take that whole out, so a couple different ways. So I didn't start this whole garden all at once. I actually started a couple small ones and then each year added a cell, which is why this works out fairly nice. So you can start with one cell that big. You can take a spade, dig up the sod. You can rent a sod cutter, but it's taking that first bit of turf off. And if you don't have a compost,
you do now.
You do now. Take that over to the compost, turn it upside down, and grass will die off, and you've got a great base on the compost. And then what? So our turf is gone.
Okay, so the turf is gone, and now this is generally the only time that I would recommend using a tiller. And the reason is that ground is so compacted that this is the best opportunity you have to till it. And I've got a 9-inch little Honda that is amazing, and I've used that forever. Get that tilled up, and ideally you would want to till that down to at least 10 inches. I would go a little deeper if you can. That's going to give you the best opportunity. And when you do that prep work, it makes life so much easier.
It really does, because when you're digging down any of the plants, it's easy.
Yes.
So, and then till that, then add compost.
Then add your amendments and the compost, the manure compost, and then take your garden fork or your potato fork and till that in like that. And I think I saw you kind of spinning that. So that's the best way to do it. Do not use a rototiller again, because when you rototill too much, you take out the air pockets in the soil and it compacts it even more. So I know that sounds odd, but that's really what happens. So you don't want to keep tilling. And using that garden fork allows that to till in itself in a gentle way, gets those nutrients, gets that amendment to fluff the soil even. Soil structure.
Oh, just took me back to college.
Air pockets. And yeah, so that's the way. That's the best way to start.
That is very, very obtainable if you want to do that. Start small, start with a little piece, supplement with farmers markets and other vegetable gardeners.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, because especially when you first start out, you're so excited, and you've got all these plants and all these seeds, and it's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then time happens. And
otherwise known as August.
Yeah. And weeds come up, and if you let that get away from you, you're going to get tired and exhausted, and it's not going to be any fun. And that is completely not the point. Correct. You want to enjoy it, and you want to have fun. You can always make a garden bigger, but starting too much, no. And so supplementing like that is perfect. And of course, in August, when you have all this produce and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. I know a lot of people set stuff on the side. I have neighbors, I've told them, y'all come on over, clip and get whatever you need.
Perfect. Perfect. Yep. I think the amendment, because as much as I'm doing vegetables here,
yes,
I need my pretty. Yes. So there's going to be a lot of flowers in this garden, and I think the same thing stands true as far as what flowers need to grow. They're pulling up nutrients. They're doing the same thing. We probably could talk for hours.
We could.
We really could.
And we could, yeah.
So, but I think this is a great start for anybody doing that. I'm going to put a link. I think I've got it now. The links are this way, up there, to Teri's YouTube channel. She does have a YouTube channel, and
my videos aren't as good as
they're absolutely wonderful. There's a part of the Teri's that's awesome, is that she's brought gardening down for all of us to enjoy, and it's just getting dirty and not worrying about hair and things like that. COVID hair. And so, subscribe to her channel up there like that, and then once you're there, then you can find all of the other places she has information in a wealth of knowledge. So, yay! So that's why.
And gotta say thank you to you. Glenn is one of those guys that he's like a Renaissance man. He does everything, and I just stand there and go, "What? Okay, all right, Glenn.
You're not the only one.
Let's go." I'm sure.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yes, exactly.
This is where the beeps come in.
Yeah.
Renaissance man, Mike. Anyways, thanks so much. I think we're gonna have you back. Okay. The Dram.
Yes. Oh.
Dram sends things to you, which is wonderful. Sponsored. Yes. I'm going to be trying some of this organic kelp.
Yep. It is fish scraps that would have been tossed into landfills or tossed. They create it out of that, and it's got kelp in it too. So.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff.
And I know at some point I'm going to invite you back. I don't know when.
Okay.
We're going to talk about watering at another time.
That sounds good.
The rest of this video is I'm going to keep working in the garden. And I said last week we were going to get rain, and we didn't. So they're really promising rain tonight. But tomorrow's supposed to be nice, only 40.
There's supposed to be snow.
Snow. That's why there's no plants out yet. Okay, so I'm going to do more work in the garden, and I'll wrap up with you later. Thank you, Teri.
Thank you, Glenn.
Well, it's officially a garden. We have something planted. So the cucumbers are in. So yes, it's an official garden. Plant 20 is underway. Just wanted to say thank you again to Teri for stopping out and spending some time in the garden yesterday. That was absolutely wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that. I did invite her back for another one later, maybe to talk about there's all kinds of things to talk about when we garden, but most likely watering and stuff like that. And gonna steal a line from Ron Shera and the star of the show, Jack. He's like, can we go in now? Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time at Home in the Garden with Glenn. Take care.